It's Warlord Willie coming at you with a little chit chat about Warframe and the infected, and maybe a little bedtime story about the infected and social distancing, how the infected got infected. If you're wondering, looking around my ship, checking to see if it's clean. Got my mask on, trying to make sure I don't get infected. Got my gloves on, got my suit on. Got a little ionizer on my chest here. Got those negative particles shooting out, trying to keep the infection away from me. I'm all suited up, ready to clean. Make sure that I remove anything that is contagious from my ship. I want to tell a story. Well, I guess I'll just jump right into it. Kind of want to go outside to play, but we're going through a time of crisis right now, which everyone wants to stay at home and protect themselves and practice social distancing. I see someone over there. I don't want to get too close. I can see particles in the air right now. With this evil family of viruses that's going around, infections that may be prevalent in the air around other people. So it is advised to keep your distance. I'm gonna keep my distance from that character over there, even though I have on the mask. I don't want to get anywhere near that guy. I'm gonna practice my social distancing. So, not only that, but you can see some issues over here. You can see this. It's kind of scary to go in here. Looks like that person must have been in here. And you see this crown looking, it looks like it's got a crown. It's an infectious looking plant right there. I'm gonna call it a plant. Or virus, whatever. But it looks very much like a crown with the spikes sticking out. Those spikes are what is used to infiltrate. When it infiltrates its host, it just sits back and observes for up to like 14 days. Watching and waiting. It's very sneaky. And I think, it's quite contagious. It affects animals. Those animals can become contagious and have contagious spraying out whenever, talking, coughing, sneezing. It can also spread through close contact. So, you get too close to someone who's infected, And voila, now you're infected. And you have to go to the doctor. And the doctor may be infected. The doctor's chairs may be infected. Who knows? Because with this particular virus, it's like you can have it and not even know it for 14 days or longer, potentially. It could be hiding on surfaces, seats, arms, handles, doctor's equipment. So whenever you're going outside, you want to wear a mask, you want to wear gloves, you want to wash your hands thoroughly when you do get home. So we're here in this nice, clean, pristine workplace. This is like the home office control room. And you want to stay away from those crowded areas. That's crowded with bacteria, viruses, and all kinds of germs floating around. But in reality, you cannot see that stuff. In reality, you'll be at a disadvantage for being able to see this level of viruses. So I'm standing here and I have an ionizer spraying down on me. And you see it, this stuff is highly, highly contagious, floating in the air everywhere. It could be floating in the air for several hours. Or maybe, I don't know, don't quote me on that. I don't think it's correct to say that it could be floating in the air for several hours. But I do know that it can be on surfaces for several hours, especially, you know, given the fact that it's surrounded by this protein. I also understand, based on what I heard, that it could be dormant and then activated by moisture. But this is something that we need to be aware of. We need to be very serious about avoiding contact with this particular strain. We do not want to become infested, infected. Now, our living quarters are pristine, clean. Now, I want to say, and wash my hands real quick, sterilize, and clean, so when I get home. But I'll go ahead and wrap this up, but I want to go ahead and say, let me say a few more things about dealing with this. Because I mentioned that the virus could be observing kind of after, I'm sleepy, excuse me, but the virus could be observing for like 14 days. And after the 14 days, I mean, it's like for that 14-day period, you can be infected and not know that you're infected. So my character here is basically, and it's obviously infected, but doesn't appear to be alarming at all, really, until we have this expansion of tentacles, which basically an indicator of the virus escalating and evolving the infection of the host. So once infected, the spread of the infection can be devastating and passing it around and leaving it on surfaces for others to touch and ingest and become infected. Our world is under attack by a super sneaky bug. Once you're infected, you'll have to go to the doctor, get checked out, be exposed to even more infections. That's not a good look to have to go to the doctor. Do everything you can to protect yourself and not be in that seat at the doctor's office. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll be back with another video. Got a little cough myself, excuse me. I don't think I'm infected, but and I've been real careful to not be out and be exposed to crowds. I think my worst case scenario of being exposed was going into a gas station in front of Walmart, and the tenant working there, the employee that was working, was vaping. When I walked in the door, she had a big exhale, and you could see that smoke just coming out of her mouth, or that vape coming out of her mouth, and she was blowing it as she was doing like a sprinkler exhale, that vape, and you could just see it shooting out of her mouth from right to left. And I'm like, oh my God. And she had a customer walk up. Oh, let me see. I think the customer walked up, so I was able to stop and wait, keep my distance. And I could just see that vape, evaporating into the air. And then the customer walked out the other door away from me. And I waited a few seconds, approached, and reached out for it from a distance to get my receipt. So if I am infected, I'm going to blame it on the vape girl at the gas station, because she's the only person that I've came in contact with outside of my immediate family. And the only contact that I had with her was getting my receipt from her and inhaling her vape. So yeah. Other than that, I've been dug in like a tick. I was like, man, I just completely undermined my whole, I've completely undermined, with that one exposure or contact or lack of social distancing. I don't know what to call it. I call it it was a mistake to go into the store for that receipt, because I could have just ate the taxes on that receipt because I was getting it for tax purposes. And I did not have my mask on as I do now when I walked into that gas station. But to see that vape exhale puts it into perspective how vulnerable you are when you're out socializing with people. I cannot emphasize this, the importance of this anymore. When you're out and about, there's particles floating in the air from people's exhales. That exhale, you see this exhale coming out right here? You see that? You see that exhale? This reminds me of what I saw coming out of that girl's mouth when she was vaping, exhaling the vape at the gas station. This was one of those gas stations, like, you know, in front of Walmart, and they're real small. It's like it would be uncomfortable to have more than two customers. For me, I would feel uncomfortable to be in there with more than one other customer. But you could have 3, 4, 5 customers, or even more, who, if they happen to get there at the same time, pay for and need to go inside to pay for their gas, or go inside to pay for gas / get a receipt. You can have a pretty big crowd in close quarters. I don't see where there would be a chance of having 10 people all in there at the same time, but I could see 4 or 5 people in there all at the same time easily at some point in time during the day. And I was thinking, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this receipt. I don't have my mask on, but I don't see anybody in there. It looks clear. I can run in there right quick and run out. It may have been a fatal mistake, for all I know, because like I said, the tenant, the worker, she's exposed to all of the other people who have been in there paying for the gas, who may have been infected. By her working there, she's in a highly exposed job. She's exposed to all of the travelers and commuters and partiers and whatever else, groups of people that frequent the gas station. And then what do? Take a chance and walk in there with no mask, and she's exhaling the vape. Particles flying everywhere. And she wasn't just lightly exhaling it, she was blowing it out with vigor. So just like you see these particles floating around here, I could see those vape particles. But, you know, I'm hopeful that there was no Sean. I was making a little YouTube video with Sean. I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah. I was talking about contagions viruses. My experience. This is my first time being back on Warframe in a long time. So I wanted to jump on and check out the real Jack real quick. And ended up talking about viruses and infections. I forgot to mention, guys, where these viruses come from. And I have a perfect example of where these viruses come from, right up here on the bridge. Where is he? See him? There he is. Viruses come from animals. You see? This particular virus has a long history and family of coming from animals. And they have a very vicious goal when they make the jump from animals to humans. And that is to replicate, to survive by any means necessary. So when they make that jump from the animals over to humans, their intentions are ill-willed towards humankind. And at this point, humankind is basically in one big experiment. Now, I'm just using that experiment word loosely, but I'm making a reference to society's survival. It's going to depend on the impact, not survival, but the impact of this virus on humanity is going to be determined on the definition of the word crisis. We are faced with a crisis in humanity right now. And the definition of the word loosely in medical terminology means that in a medical situation, the choices you make determine whether or not one lives or dies. That is basically a rough definition of the medical terminology for crisis. So that's why I'm basically making this little video, is just to try to bring, to raise the awareness and somewhat blow the whistle and ring the alarm and provide people with a healthy fear of these viruses, because we don't want to allow viruses to jump from animals to us, and then we take it home to our parents and grandparents and infect them. Because we're young and healthy. Well, I don't know about myself, I'm kind of on up there myself, but you know, compared to our grandparents and great grandparents and our parents, we're young and healthy. So we may not even have any symptoms or feel bad or anything, and end up getting our parents sick and our grandparents sick and having them in some really crisis situations. So remember the definition of crisis being the decisions that we make in medical situations can affect whether or not we live or die. So I think that wraps it up, and right at 26 minutes. Is there anything else? Let's be proactive rather than reactive. Take some steps, some measures. Take it to the extreme. Go ahead, take it to the extreme. Stay home, stay in. Let's play some Warframe all day, all night. Let's play some Destiny all day, all night. Stay inside. Don't take a chance on getting exposed and then bringing it home to your family. Let's just play some video games, have fun. Get some things done. Avoid this vicious family of royalty crowned family. Let's work it out and avoid that. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with, let's see, where's the DJ lady? With the really good voice, she tells the stories and stuff. I forgot. It's been a long time. No, she in here somewhere. Maybe over here? Oh, there she is.
Shall we?
Shall we? Yes, we should. Let's go ahead and get the party started. What you talking about? Let's see. How do we get her to tell the stories? I forgot, guys. There's a way. Let's see. Tune in. Oh, that's it. So let's get her to tell a story about the emissary. That fits right along with my story, guys. And we'll wrap it up with her story.
Dreamers, you know about the infestation, right? Spreads like a month-old salad with genocidal intent. Swallows everything it touches, making monsters from meat or metal or both. Well, these days it's mostly contained. Spores as old as stone, derelicts drifting in forgotten orbits. So it was with old Kanga, somehow exposed and promptly cast out. Woke up on a blessed cage drop down to Eris. But should some sad soul catch the gray vein, well, every culture has its plague dogma. But maybe there's something more to this infestation, something we all missed. Turns out, Kanga didn't find Void in that hell nest, no. He found a survivor. Little boy, Arlo, died 3 years ago. Yet there he was. Lost his voice, but gained his life. And somehow saved old Kanga with the slightest touch of his slender hand. My mother was a cynical woman, smart as she was cruel. Nora, she said, no disease spreads faster or further than the ones in our head. She was talking about ideas. Mine was that old Kanga and his Wonder Boy would have been splayed out in some bio-trader's lab by now, or blood studies for the Grenier Command. Dreamers, I was wrong. Kanga's gray vein was just the beginning. White lung, parasitic liver, clone rot, even bone spurs. Turns out this kid, Arlo, is a healer. So many questions. An idea like that is like a flare dropped in Vol gas. Now the sick and curious are flocking the rails to see this emissary of Eris. And who speaks for Arlo the Mute? Why, old Kanga, of course. No more the outcast. It is he who is spreading the word of Arlo's gift. Even you, dreamers, may soon hear it. Whether you're bad news first or bad news last, tonight I got you covered, 'cause bad news is all we got. This emissary's word is spreading fast. A hot fever. Some are going to extremes to prove their devotion. Trying the spores for themselves, and they're finding it too. Some lunatic spikers jacked the solar nav and flagged the derelict zones for all to see. Old haulers and new hopefuls out there are proving just how smart most people aren't. Yet Kanga's ranks are growing, arming themselves for the safety and security of our emissary, setting the stage for a great assembly to come. Buzz is, Arlo will break his silence. Till then, dreamers, check under the bed. A fresh brood is sprouting up along the rails. And it seems they have the scent of those blessed by the emissary's touch. Y'all did see this coming, right, dreamers? Surely did, but not like this. A grand gathering before the emissary and his speaker. Standing room only. Bodies pressed to bodies. A great overheated mass breathing as one. Waiting for their beloved healer mute to speak. Kanga hushed the crowd. He shed his mask, and there he was, laughing at them. Sick as the day he was banished. More. His retribution was at hand, born of a virus spreading further and faster than spore and space ever could have. Arlo. And in that stunned silence, Arlo himself made a sound. Not a word, but a stifled gag. A swollen choke as he opened his mouth. And there it was, pointed, black, a tongue, but not. snaking and bulging and splitting him apart. I looked away then. I had to. But that sound stays with me. Not the sound of human terror, bad as it was, but what came after. The grinding wet, the rattling flutter, the congregation converted in the truest sense. Dreamers, you all got your work cut out for you. Though this movement has lost its head, the body still lingers. It's a bad cycle, Dreamers. Arlo's devoted had a party and you're on cleanup detail. Derelicts are threatening every settlement from Mercury to Eris. And my sources say you're uniquely qualified to contain them. Meanwhile, I've been thinking, not about Kanga, but about what he actually found down there. Arlo, whatever he was. Some kind of lure? An evolution to bait us in? Is there more to this infestation than fangs and acid? I know what my mother would say. The people saw what they wanted, heard what they hoped, and human nature did the rest. Still, I'm hearing rumors. The mass on Eris is in turmoil, and nobody, but nobody wants to check it out. It's seething. And if it's not thinking about this whole ordeal, baby, it's feeling it. This is Nora Knight, saying for now, dreamers, so long and hold on. And listen, should you ever happen upon some vacant-eyed little kid someday, whatever you do, don't take him home.
So yeah, it's amazing how well that story fits in, or my story fits in, or whatever, vice versa. It's amazing. Talking about the infected.
You know it.
And the need and necessity to wear a mask and practice social distancing. It's crucial right now, guys. You see that mug over there? You see how nasty it is over here? I mean, you don't want to be exposed. This is not something to play with. Absolutely not. So, don't panic, but be careful. And when it passes, don't become complacent, because this is a war. And these viruses are extremely sneaky. You know how they give us a virus, a shot. And the shot, if you get lucky, or you get exposed to a virus, and it's the same as the shot, then you're good. But if it's not the same as the shot, you may be in trouble. You may get really sick because you haven't built up proper immunities. So every year they kind of guess which one's going to be the most prevalent virus going around. That's the one. If they give you a shot for it, it might be 2 or 3 different crowns circulating around. So if you got the shot for number one crown, but you get the number 2, and then you could even get exposed to number 3 before you recover from number 2. You get a double whammy. But you got a shot for number 1, which is not doing you any good. So yeah, how do you avoid this? You stay inside. Play Warframe, play Destiny, play something. Do something else besides going outside to play. Work from home. Check this out, I can work from home right here. Go in here, sit down, and work from home. All kinds of work. Get this for exercise. Do a little exercise, run around. Go in here and listen to the music. All by myself. Cool. Meditate. Look at the stars. Do some astronomy. Just grab some binoculars. Go out at night. Look at the stars. Stay away from people. Stay away from crowds. And whatever they say as an official number, I'm willing to bet that it's going to be 10 or 20 times greater than the official number. So yeah. Oh man, excuse me. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm sorry, LaShawn, but I got to make a break. Get off this thing. It's been 43 minutes and counting. Almost an hour. So be safe. Handle your business. Protect yourself and your family. Let me get this thing out of here because it's nasty. I don't like that nasty thing up my ship. Oh man, let's get rid of that. So I'm gonna go to Rhino. Let's check the appearance on this thing. Kind of like that right there. Go with that bad boy. Whoa, you in this nasty room, bro? Get out of there. Can I get some of that stabilizer stuff? See, DNA stabilizer. If he had those crown viruses, I could give him a DNA stabilizer to help him out. He at 85% health right now, so he's doing good. to get down to 70, maybe I'll give my, go ahead and give me an injection at 70, stabilize them, get those viruses out of the system. But, it should be okay, but I have to be concerned about just watching and monitoring my dog, my Kubro, I think that's the name of his, Kubro Zeus is his name. My battle buddy. Alright guys, I'm going to shut it down because I'm about to pass out. At 45 minutes.